Raucous. Subscribe to Vincent Valentine EX Turk channel.
Dissida NT coming out, even the closed beta coming to us, whoever signed up for it. This would be a good time to actually commemorate by adding some new material. Now, I've already talked about main hero characters we need to have in Dissida NT. I've already talked about the extra characters, DLC characters, and even alternate shader characters. Now, I know I'm taking a page off the Injustice book, but I think it's possible we should have different versions of the main characters in the story mode. What I mean by that is maybe Spiritus could create evil versions of each of the heroes first before facing the villains. And I'm not talking about the little jewel crystal ones. I'm talking about actual carbon copies with maybe with red eyes or something like that. And well, this could be really hard when you put a Vincent in. But maybe this story mode should include, if Vincent Valentine becomes an actual character or shader or whatnot, this would be perfect to have Vincent on here because, well, it would help. Because not every single hero is going to have the evil versions of themselves face off. It would be only the main heroes. It would only be the main heroes. And you could unlock them as different costumes too once you beat them and stuff like that. But what possible scenarios I'd like for the story mode would be, one of them would be dark versions of the main heroes. Pretty much. Now, instead of having alternate dimensions and be completely like Injustice, what I would like is Spiritus copies and makes perfect copies of each of the heroes to face each other. And Spiritus is powerful enough to do it. Remember, Spiritus has existed for a long time, even longer than Chaos. He's probably stronger than Chaos. It's possible. So that'd be a number one scenario. The number two scenario I'd like is to go through each Final Fantasy world, just like we did when we had to walk through the PSP game. I'd like to be able to go through the City of Ancients and from Final Fantasy VII as, a strike team. And then we have to fight a boss, which is one of the Final Fantasy villains. We go through the City of Ancients pretty much. I like to have several walkthrough dungeons, in the story mode, such as the City of Ancients, the City of Pulse, what would be another one too, Alticia, Alticia, I'm trying to think what else would be pretty cool to include as one of the just walking dungeons. Also, I'd like to, I'm trying to think of another Final Fantasy game I've played. I can't remember. Probably stuff from 12, because 12 is also recent too. And they could have a pick of that. So I would also like that as a scenario too, where you walk through dungeons and stuff. Oh yeah, E-Star City too, which we've seen in the trailer for the battle thing. But I'd like to be able to walk through E-Star City, And maybe there could be a special thing where you can unlock all those as actual fight stages, which would be pretty cool for extra stages as well. That'd be another scenario I would also like. Of course, yes, make it possible where you have to fight the main villains. I think the evil versions of the characters, the main heroes, would just be, like a secondary boss, a sub-boss, pretty much. But the main boss will be the Final Fantasy villains to their worlds, I also like to have some mix-up too, have it where they fight one of the other heroes, but they don't lose to the other heroes, just to have some tension going on, something like, I don't know, Noctis facing Sephiroth, and then Sephiroth getting beat to the point where he has to retreat. He's like, well, I can't die here, so, it was nice fighting with you or something like that. Or have Arden mess with Cloud so bad that Cloud gives into a little bit of his darker self. You know, again, I could see Sephiroth and Arden pairing up as a team. You know, but I just think that'd be a pretty awesome thing too, to have the villains cross over. So you'd have two sub bosses, the dark version and another villain from the Final Fantasy universe, which would be pretty cool. What else I'd like to have in a scenario mode? I'd have to say, I'm trying to think. I'd have to say, let's see, when you had to, I think this will be bringing back the retro spec of Final Fantasy games, but I think before you get to Spiritus, once you get to Spiritus' lair, and that's like the final area, instead of having the chest piece, because you're probably more likely to go through dungeons, I think in order to fight Spiritus, you have to go to each door and fight each of the Archfiends of Chaos. You know, even though Chaos no longer exists, this will be a perfect throwback. The only thing is you can't have the Archfiends actually be any characters you can use in the game, because they'd be way too big. But you had to fight Lich, I think it's Merilith and Tiamat, and pretty much those guys. You have to face those guys in order to get to the door of Spiritus, which would be a perfect throwback to classic Final Fantasy fans from the NES era too. So that'd be pretty cool too. And maybe this will actually make the villains team up with the heroes. I think the heroes won't finish off all their villains. I think a few of the villains will survive, and this is where I think it'd be possible for. I think this would be possible for Cloud and Sephiroth to team up. Now I know this is probably gonna get dislikes for this, but they don't like each other. Maybe this will put a truce, because Sephiroth wants to rule the world too. So, and Spiritus would be in his way. Or maybe Sephiroth would find out that Spiritus was screwing him over. And so same thing with the other villains. Same thing with the other villains. Maybe it could be possible, even though Kefka's insane, but Kefka be a good guy for once, just to overthrow Spiritus. Because, Spiritus is going to be far eviler than Chaos, considering the fact that Spiritus is the embodiment of all darkness. This is why I had my theory that the Star Scourge could have came originally from him. And he happened to put some of that into the world of Eos, which Ifrit asked access and used it. But I have a feeling that they had not used the full power. The full power of the Scourge actually would come straight from Spiritus, Since Spiritus and Materia has been around since all the world's creations. So, pretty much they existed a long, long time ago, way before Cosmos and Chaos. I think after Chaos got beat, it brought Spiritus' attention and Materia's attention. But nonetheless, I think it would be pretty good to have the Archfiends of Chaos to fight them. And then because since the Archfiends of Chaos would be massive and big characters, considering they'd be like their Final Fantasy 1 counterpart. You can't actually unlock them as characters, but you could fight them in the story mode. This is why I think the perfect chance for Cloud and Sephiroth to team. Now, yes, Sephiroth is still evil, and he will still kill Cloud after this is over, but I could see Sephiroth cooperating with Cloud to take down these people, to take down the Archfiends of Chaos, And I think it'd be possible. Let's see, Cloud and Sephiroth versus Lich. I think this will be a perfect team up. Since Cloud and Sephiroth knows each other's fighting style, that'd be perfect. And maybe a team up with Arden and Noctis, because I think that's possible. Because remember, Arden will still want the power of the Ascendant King, so Noctis would be off limits for any other villains. I'm pretty sure that Arden's going to give Sephiroth a stern talking to if he goes after Noctis. considering that Arden wants the power. That's why, again, that's why in Final Fantasy 15, Arden and Idolus butted heads. Because Idolus wanted to straight up kill Noctis. And Arden was like, I want that ring. You do anything to him, and there's going to be some problems. So Idolus backed off, But this ain't about Final Fantasy 15. I'm just saying that, this will also be a perfect, maybe for one of the Archfiends, maybe Merilith. Since Merilith plays a huge role, in Final Fantasy 15, I know it's a different version, but, it would create tension for Noctis, since Noctis nearly got killed by a version of Merilith in his world. I think it'd be perfect. And I'm pretty sure Arden wouldn't have known about that, so Arden would team up with Noctis to get rid of Merilith, And then so on with the other villains and heroes, Maybe Squall and Ultimecia faces the other two Archfiends. I forgot the other two Archfiends' names are. But, or faces Tiamat, But nonetheless, I think it'd be perfect to have the Archfiends of Chaos, and then you have one of your villains be on your team. And then not only the heroes have to face Spiritus, but the villains that betrayed Spiritus will have to face Spiritus. Because, let's be honest, the villains are going to get screwed out. They're going to get, this is a dude who's going to be way eviler than Chaos. And possibly even eviler than Arden is, So he's going to screw everybody else out. And all the villains are going to get real pissed. And trust me, you don't want to piss none of the Final Fantasy villains. There was a mutiny and betrayal of Chaos. The Emperor Mateus tried to betray Chaos, and overthrow him. Which didn't work out anyways. Chaos allowed it because it was like, well, he's just going to get killed off anyways. So there's no reason to punish him, So I think it'd be perfect to have to face the four Archfiends of Chaos from the NES Final Fantasy, and you get to team up with your villain that decides to betray Spiritus, because Spiritus is gonna be spiteful. Spiritus is pretty much the embodiment of all the darkness of Final Fantasy games. So come on, man. He's gonna screw him over. He's gonna do that. So I'm gonna get back to sleep and get the rest of my Z's. But I think it was perfect time to actually talk about scenarios I really want in Dissida NT. So may the crystal be with you. You guys have a nice day. I'm gonna make a sick thumbnail and get back to bed.
Yo, Percocet, yeah. Miley Percocet, Percocet, yeah. Miley Percocet, rep the set, yeah. Gotta rep the set, gang, gang. Chase a chick, never chase a bitch, chase no bitch. Man.